Okay, so our textures are mostly ready. I haven't done any texture for the chainmail and skirt, and then the bodysuit. With what bodysuit is, well, I can just do with a shader, and probably doesn't even see much. But while I'm doing the texturing for the skirt and then the chainmail, I will just do like quick texturing for bodysuit as well. So it's mostly a skirt really, because this chainmail will be very small for individual pieces, so it won't be very noticeable. But the skirt is probably the main thing to be textured. So I'm gonna export these three. Okay, here inside Substance Painter. So I'm gonna use the ARPA for transparency for the skirt. So I'm gonna choose the template to PBR metallic roughness with the ARPA blended. This will support the opacities, and select the geometry. And then I'm gonna use 4K and UV type workflow, and yeah, that should be fine. So just click OK. Right, so this is the initial scene. I have a chainmail and skirt, and then the inner cloth. So I'm gonna start with the bake texture sets, bake mesh maps, size and just 2K should be good enough. And then I'm gonna just bake everything maybe except ID. Okay, so bake selected textures. Okay, so start with giving the base material for each objects. Okay, so start with the fabric denim for these two objects. So just drag and drop. And this one will be Still Love. Okay, and I want to make this one blue, as I already color coded in the Maya. So this is the skirt, and I will just create new fill layer and then just change the color to blue. Something like this. And this one I will probably just leave it as is, as we don't see it much. It's basically just placeholder, so that one should be fine. And then Still Love. This is the word. Even the UV doesn't even have a lot. So it's like using the very small, only a few pixels per each chains. So we don't really get much on this chainmail, but we try add some few layers to break up some evenness. Okay, so start with the skirt. So I'm gonna name this as a color. And start with the new layer, and I'm gonna make some sort of darker material, darker color for this one. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off the height and matter, normal, opacity, and receive everything, just color and then the roughness. So base color will be somewhat similar than what it was before, but just darker. Then base material it's pretty rough. It's not shiny at all. Oh, I'm gonna actually need to adjust some properties. So like scale, update the scale, so we don't really see much of this fabric pattern. I mean, we do want to see a little bit, but not as much as just before. Maybe around 3. Same as this one. It's currently laid out based on the UV space, so same scale isn't really working. Okay, and speed layer. I can actually change the rotation. So I think vertical pattern maybe works better. Okay. Let's go back to the fill layer, and it should be very rough because this is just a cloth. So using maybe 0.7 to 8, and checking the roughness channel. This is previous and current. Can be a bit brighter. Okay, and just the typical process, so masking as black, and then add fill layer. So using this fill layer, like plugging with the grunge map, one of those like maybe dirt looking, or something like this, grungy look. Try this, and then hold Alt and click the mask out to isolate the mask, and change the scale of this grunge. So something like maybe 5, and add some rotation and also some offset. With this kind of a like spotty kind of circular will probably catch eyes. So maybe triplanar works better. And sometimes I mean triplanar is good, but it's not always the best. If UV is well laid out, then UV option might be better. So it depends. I mean, my UV sim is somewhere here, so we see, it's hard to see, but somewhere like sim is there. So do projection, and sim is right here. So I can paint over and then blend those sim, but sometimes if it's noticeable, then that's the alternative option. Triplanar is also a good choice. Try like 7. And then this is the with the this mask with the darker color material. It's really hard to see. If I go to the base color, it's there, but it's hard to see. So what I can do is go to the grunge fill layer, and then increase some balance and then the contrast to make it a bit more pronounced. I can even add maybe a level to make it like darker overall, just to break up some like flat color filling. So something like this will work. Okay, let's just move move on to the other layer, which is this time is brighter. So I'm gonna just copy and paste, and then name it brighter color. So the color is obviously needs to be much brighter. Something like this, and I'll just use a different pattern of this grunge. So I can maybe switch some scale to maybe slightly different than what it was before. And add some offset also helps. So I think this is a base fabric material. So I can add a few more like layers, like dirt and some like opacity maps to break up this simple bottom section. So I'm gonna start with the add a new layer and then just leave a opacity to break up a bottom section. So to start with, I'll just slide all the way down to Joe, and then mask out the black, and add paint. So in this layer, I can simply just paint out color, which is like white and black, to control the transparency like this. So the brush that I'm going to choose, okay, in this paint layer. So brush that I'm going to choose will be more like messy brushes. So let's try with dirt. I need to brush that something more hard edges. Okay, so we'll choose another brushes, something like charcoal natural, and this kind of brush would work better. Okay, so just simply paint it out like this, and hit X to import black and white. And there will be like small floating colors which will be sort of left over. We need to maybe go over later and then clean them up as well. Okay, so I think they are okay. It's a bit too much torn maybe, but can maybe go over later and then do some adjustment if it needs. And we move on to other layer. So it should be dirt. I think this one is copy. This one will be dirt. So turn off the opacity and emissive, and it's not gonna be metallic or it's very lump. So metallic should be 0, and I'm gonna just turn it off actually. So no metallic, and lump needs to be pretty rough, almost like 0.93, whatever. Very bright, so it can be very contrast to other. And height will be a tiny bit, maybe 0.005, and see how much it will be. Base color, it's gonna be like dirt, so it's just very dark brown, not very saturated. Okay, and just add black mask. And then this time, I'm gonna start with generator and using a 3D distance first. So this one is basically taking a world space normal and a mask out based on the those position or surface like direction. So I can mask out based on X or Y or Z. This. So I want to use a Y in this case. So just write it down because well, dirt will be mostly affected on this lower area of the skirt. So start with the more like gradual from the bottom to the left to the top. So bottom should be brighter overall. Well, this is too perfect, so we need to break up later, but it's just a starting point. And a bit more contrast. Okay. And adding a paint layer. And then basically paint over to break up this evenness. So this time I'll be using a dirt, whatever, dirt 1, dirt 2. Well, anything should be fine. They don't have much difference. And lower opacity, like this. Just paint across the surface, so try to break up the evenness feeling. Start with, well, you can start with the lighter color, dark color doesn't really matter. Just hit X, and then some area can get even brighter. So this is what I have right now. Well, they are there, but it's a bit too subtle. So I can again using a lever and try to lever them a bit better. also adding another a fill layer and plug in a like grunge or procedure. Just plug in grunge and break up with the other maps. So dirt muddy maybe. Change this to linear dodge so you can get add up to the previous like painted and then like generated masks. So this is what I have right now. Maybe never can go higher. I think this can be a base, a dirt layer, and I can add another dirt layer. So copy and paste, and then this time I will just leave a procedural layer, and then plug in another grunge map here. So more spotty one in this case. Something like this, and scale can be a bit smaller. Then even the color and height can be slightly different, a bit more yellow. So this is the base color. Now this looks like it's too light. Can make it a bit higher. Maybe something like this. If I can add another paint layer here, and then add a few more like brighter dirt at the bottom. This overall feels like a little bit too bright. For the other more spotty one, I can also add a paint layer and paint out because they are very repetitive, so I can paint out, or I can even use another procedural maps to layer them over, but I can just simply using paint layer to hide them out. Okay, so skirt seems to be almost done. The cloth itself gets a bit too worn, so I might go more for the color and then try make a little bit more saturated. Okay, it should be good.